one point during this Q&A with reporters, the president asked Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to give details about what targets in Iran the U.S. military has hit.
Pete, do you want to tell them about last night?
Yes, sir. Last night, as you said, a lot of small craft that they were trying to harass shipping with, so that was a big part of what we targeted. Underground facilities where they were storing drones or missiles, coastal defense sites, radar sites, surveillance sites, anything used to harass shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. So anything they thought they had rebuilt or capability they were using was a target last night. And tonight, if we need to, on your order, Mr. President, we will hit even more and even deeper, because that's the consequence.
And we may put down the blockade. We may put it back, the blockade. And it'll only be a blockade for Iran. Anybody else can have whatever they want.
President Donald Trump and U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth at a sideline meeting at the NATO summit in Turkey. And later, U.S. Central Command tweeting out, at the direction of the Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Central Command forces have started conducting additional strikes against Iran to further degrade their ability to threaten freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. The United States is holding Iran accountable for recent unjustified aggression against commercial shipping and civilian crews freely navigating a vital international waterway. Al Jazeera writing about this renewed fighting between the U.S. and Iran. At the heart of the dispute over the Strait of Hormuz is a difference in interpretation of Article 5 of the Memorandum of Understanding. It states that Iran will make arrangements using its best efforts for the safe passage of commercial vessels, with no charge for 60 days only, from the Persian Gulf to the Sea of Oman and vice versa. Iranian authorities argue that the clause gives Tehran authority over managing traffic through the strait. But the U.S. insists that the article lists only Iran's responsibility to ensure that it does not impede transit through the strait, without giving it a veto over who moves through the waterway. Reporting from Al Jazeera. Still later at the NATO summit in Turkey, at a closing news conference, President Trump was asked by a reporter about oil prices rising. Now the president has declared the U.S.-Iran ceasefire is over.
Thank you, Mr. President. Steve Sedgwick from CNBC. The oil markets are up today around about 7% for WTI and Brent as well. The world is taking you at your word, sir, that the MOU is over, that the ceasefire is over. What happens next, sir? Are we on the cusp of a full-scale return to full conflict?
Well, I'll tell you what happens next. We're never going to see Iran have a nuclear weapon, because that's much more important than the numbers you're talking about. The prices of oil are dropping like a rock. Now they'll be up a little bit, and this will end very quickly. We have an oil glut right now because we got all those boats out of the strait, and it's going to drop, and I've predicted everything. I've been right about everything, and I have been for a long time.